Jesus. That's how they go. That's how they go to Publix. That's how they go to the grocery store. Just angry as shit.
It's like, wait, like, let's not even talk about things that get expressed in the English language, because the English language is an invention. So let's take out all of that, look to nature. What is the mode of communication between all of you, and how do we emulate that?
Alright, first time I saw extraterrestrial. Here we go. Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I almost didn't make it through first time. Let's see.
And she's over here like, oh, I can jump rope for 30 minutes straight. I'm over here like, after 30 seconds, I'm like, gassed. You know what I mean? And that's like within like 3 or 4 like trips and like resets in that 30-second span. You know? So I got 30 minutes. What?
Dude, Shakira can do more push-ups than me.
Oh, I bet.
Like straight up.
Yeah.
Like she did like 40 something, 44. I don't think she was gassed. She was just like 40. And then I was like 24. And my body literally wouldn't even go off the ground. I was just down there. Like, okay, what's my next? I'm up to 33 now. So I'm coming up. I got some pretty interesting requests. White Jesus.
What about him?
That's just all it says.
Well, that's just a concept. Jesus was not white. Almost 100%.
Yeah.
He was like very dark, like Indian, Arabic probably, you know. It's just deception by modern church.
That's the answer.
That's it. Simple.
Alright, next one was a fencing tutorial of how to lunge.
Did you get it on video?
Yeah. Alright, next one was less worry.
Less worry.
Less worry.
So yeah, to worry less, like you gotta feel what's going on. And like unwind to get to that point of a silent mind where you're just feeling with like other, like starting up all these other patterns again. It's like, wait, take your thoughts back, just feel.
I think it's a calculation because you have to have so much happening during your day. Like when people who don't listen to like bad music don't usually have worry. Like they usually listen to good, worry-free music.
Yeah.
Music creates that in us. And a lot of people who are very worried listen to a lot of worried-ass music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, we don't see it or feel it. Our minds are taking in that energy through this calculation. And it's calculating the messed up story that whoever is screaming at you on the other end is screaming about. And it's being played into your reality. Like now you see, you feel, you vibe that vibration that you've been pouring into yourself in your box, your soundproof box. You can't hear the birds chirping outside. All you can hear is what you're immersing yourself in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when you're going to a red light on 19 super flat, you can see the red light. Everybody's racing to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching people race to red lights. It's like, where are you going?
They're so angry, dude.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I'll get like honked at sometimes. I'm slowing down way before, like, I like to coast so that my car never has that stop like that.
Yeah, me too.
Just coast until you don't barely even feel it when you're there. People get on your ass though.
Your ass, speed in front of you.
And it's like, it's a busy intersection and it just turned red, like trying to get on 19 or something. It's like, bro, you know you got a good 2.5 minutes of waiting. Where are you going?
Exactly.
Why are you tailing me? Like, it's red, bro. There's 20 cars parked ahead of you, bro. Where are you going?
Dude, have you ever pulled up beside somebody and they raced to get beside you, but it was just like 5 feet?
Oh, yeah.
Just, and they just sit there right beside you, idling.
Yeah.
Then they'll take off again. But there's not that many people's wives having babies in the back seat, and they're all going to the hospital. It's not happening. That's how they go. That's how they go to Publix. That's how they go to the grocery store. Just angry as shit. What?
I just picture Gloria shopping at Publix.
Yeah, man. It's funny, but at the same time, it's just like it's miserable because one person said it. Said, "What is Florida without beaches?" Talking about the red tide, concrete and swamp. It's like people come to Florida because of that beach line, and now you got this red tide that's creating popular ass beaches are abandoned right now. And if you're not at the beach, which when you become a Floridian, you don't really go to the beach. Like if you don't live on the beach in Florida, you don't be like, hey, every weekend I'm going to the beach. It'd be nice, but we don't. So most of the time we're just in concrete and swamp. You know what I mean? And hot as shit. It's like, what else do? Get drunk or take pills? Something's got to pass the time. But we're not at the beach like they think we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the Florida's energy is like not bad. Like it's better than Chicago, like south of Chicago where I grew up.
Yeah, Shakita said it too. It's smothering here. Like a lot of people pull to you, but they don't want to pour in you. Like you need that sometimes. Like if you're pouring in positive vibes, all these people are just constantly, yeah, but this terrible thing happened to me. You know what I mean? Like they don't even consider it. They don't feel it.
Oh, can I say one more thing about worry less?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Drink good water. That's the most important thing in the world. Drink good water.
Cheers. Good water is very important, man. That's why I don't like Florida, because the water is harsh. If you're in Florida, you need to check out my next video. It's going to be on how to make Florida water good water. Next one is sleep and meditation techniques. Go ahead, bro.
With sleep, you know, like some of the Africans, they called it dream time. And every day, you know, when they'd wake up, the tribes would get together and have dream time where everyone would share their dream experiences, you know, what they did, where they traveled in the, you know, the dream realm or the spirit realm, whatever you want to call it.
Meditation was before all the distractions came. Throughout a day, if you weren't speaking to someone directly, you were in meditation because the world was quieter then. There was nobody sitting outside your house with a full concert like we keep on our phones, you know, on our phones on like a regular basis. Or in cars, or coming out of the store, or all this congestion. So since we are submerged into that congestion, to be able to pull yourself out and to put you in that serenity that you would be before the congestion, you close your eyes and get quiet. So it makes you aware of who you are and what you are versus what everything's telling you. Man, we got 1,000 things telling us something each day.
Right
day.
now.
Right now.
Like just listen to the trees and the animals. Like.
Yeah. And some people call us signs and wonders. Some people call them like divine moments, but it's really the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be seeing and looking for those things. But we're so submerged, we don't have the mind to do those things. We don't have the understanding to do those things. Meditation gives you that. So then when you understand that, and you go to sleep, you start to understand, oh, this is also another happening. It's not just, oh, I'm awake and this is what's real. Oh, I'm in a dream and I'm just waiting until I'm awake again. Like the awake moment, you have a calendar of 365 days. And in the dream moment, you have, for me, it's been like 3 weeks. I think it's been my maximum. For 4 hours in the calendar. But episodes of a life that when I wake up from, I remember only parts of it, but I know that it's a part of me. That's scary to a lot of people because when they think that all these things that are happening in my dreams have some kind of relevance over my life. If you have nightmares all the time, you're like, well, damn. But it's also, again, what you immerse yourself in. If you watch horror movies, slashers, people coming to get you, you play a lot of shooters, a lot of player versus player, and that one dude who's always looking for you, it's gonna be in your dreams. But when you learn to architect your dreams, when you learn to create your dreams with an awareness, just like you are in this calendar time, in your dream time, when you become like that, you just focus on pure creation. Then you start to realize some things about yourself and others. Like maybe this isn't our first time here, or maybe there is something else that's happening besides what I'm immersed in. One thing I wanted to talk about was vibes. Like, imagine being a person who literally has no idea what a vibe is. Like, they never felt it. So now you're saying this thing, and it almost falls into the word of pretext, just like religion or energy or spirit, or like things that they can't tangibly see or feel. So they're like, oh, when you say vibe, you're talking about religion. But it's not a religion,
No.
It's a feeling. How can you explain that?
Whole idea away and like rewind those programs and like do like a wipe on your hard drive. It's like, wait, like let's not even talk about things you can express through the English language, because the English language is an invention. So let's take out all of that, look to nature. What is the mode of communication between all of you, and how do we emulate that? It's to realize that we have programs that are deeply, deeply, deeply embedded in humanity, where maybe not everyone talked. It was the Tower of Babel story, where we were, ascending, whether it was like actually, like we're ascending, energetically, or they were actually building this tower, trying to get to one of these top of these, wherever the gods were or something, in some mountain. I don't know. But either way, we got split up and we were given, tongues, languages to divide us. So
that makes a lot of sense, because we are coming up to this point where people are starting to wake up because the information is available. This is what got me, okay? I was watching this Justice League movie on Hulu. Just piece of it, the end of it, right? They be on some stuff, man. Like that Lex Luthor speech that he gave Superman. When I say that, I'm gonna edit a clip of it, like right here.
Are you okay?
Better than okay. I can see the entire electromagnetic spectrum. And those must be atoms. Little clouds of possibility. Einstein couldn't connect the gravitational force to the other three. But if he could have seen this, it's so obvious.
Uncle Lex?
The fundamental forces are yoked by consciousness. Everything's connected. Every one. And this is how he sees things all the time. Every day.
I don't know if I should be worried or mortified.
It's a cruel joke. The mechanistic clockwork of reality hinging on a precious, impossible defiance of entropy, on life. And the clockwork doesn't care. It's like it's all just us in here together. We're all we've got.
You are embarrassing me beyond therapy.
This morning, Shakita was watching the Justice League. So everybody was being beaten. All the Justice League, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, everybody. Batman comes in. No superpowers. First thing he says to Green Lantern when he wakes him up from his ass whooping is, I need information. And Green Lantern was like, well, first off, the dude kills his mom. And so Batman goes to the next to Cyborg. And Cyborg said, yeah. He said, so you have it recorded? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, all right. He put these holograms out in front of the army that he had brought in and played the speech of him confessing to kill his mom. I'm like, Batman did that with information, with a thought. He did that with somebody who's using their mind on a superheroic level. You see what I'm saying? I feel like we have the capability to be super. I think we have that capability. I know we do. I've seen it when you're on that psilocybin level. You can literally see these things, but you don't have any
project
idea.
your thoughts and just see
The person next to you, don't even have to talk. You just know that vibe. That's the vibe.
Yeah.
Alright, another question was DMT experience.
Be like marijuana, mushrooms, LSD, and then DMT would be the top. But we got to realize that everything we ingest changes our consciousness in any given moment. And for a lot of us, that first thing that has that drastic change is alcohol. You get drunk. Oh wow, I can feel this way. What? There's a different way to exist. This is cool. You just want to be drunk all the time. So it's something new and it's something different. But there are so many other things that induce far superior states of consciousness than what alcohol gives us, and they're all illegal.
A lot of people aren't meant to know the truth. It's nothing against them. It's just a lot of people would feel lost without that control, and they know that. So the people who are like, yeah, they're right, that is bad, that is illegal, those people are comfortable with the system, they're addicted to it. I look at DMT as a hormone. Like, a lot of people don't understand the connection between their body and dreams. That gland is secreting DMT when you're dreaming, but when you're in meditation or completely relaxed, everything is shut down but that organ. It secretes that DMT. So when you take a synthetic DMT or a DMT from an outside source and you ingest it or however you take it, it's like a steroid. Like any organ or muscle, if you put a steroid in it, it's going to go to its optimum and then it's going to come back down. And the way that it comes down is quick. DMT is super quick. But when it happens, there's this explosion of perception. And it's not like a dream, it's not like an illusion, it's actually like a visual field of the way things really are, of the way we once saw them.
As when we were children, we had the visual perception to see things as they are. As you grow up, you start to become used to the models you're taught about how things should look and should be, and that literally creates a perception within your mind. But this slices that, takes that completely away, so you see how you're supposed to.
It's like the size of a thumb, right, in the middle of the brain. And when you brush your teeth with heavy metals, you're using deodorant that has aluminum in it, you're washing your dishes with Dawn dish liquid. When you're showering with a body wash, it's full of metals, heavy metals that secrete into the skin, the bloodstream, they go up to the brain. And this is the most magnetic organ in your body. So when you take a picture of it, I have a picture of it. This is a picture of it calcified, like actual heavy metals built up around it just from living your life with the products that they make you have this kind of issue. Then when you take something like DMT, it completely lyses all of that metal away, and everything is now brilliant and bright, and you're aware again. You turn back on, basically. And after that, you don't turn off. The metal doesn't just come back. The metal becomes something that you distaste. You're like, you know what? My body says, I'm not going to use that toothpaste anymore. It makes a bad taste in your mouth. Or the deodorant feels so sticky under your arms, just like something's not right. So you stop with those things, and you become aware. I think that's what DMT is. They call it a spirit molecule because it's the most spiritual part of the human body. A lot of people don't believe in spirituality, not necessarily a specific one, but just the fact that what's happening up here is happening to all of us. And that DMT secretion that happens naturally in our brains when we sleep, when we dream, the more you get in control of it, the more connected you become. And as you know, with all empires, it's divide and conquer. So we're divided by that. And of course it's illegal. Because if you took
Marijuana,
mushrooms, all the
LSD,
drugs you just said, if you took all of these, you would no longer be amused by the sideshow, by the illusion. You would see past it. You're like, this is all a movie. Those are some great special effects, but this shit ain't real. And a lot of people are going to make fun of you for this, and it's deliberate. It's deliberate because when you hear the word tree hugger, tree hugger, tree hugger,
Guilty.
put it right there. When you hear that word tree hugger, it literally means a lame person, like someone who's just wacky or discard him. He's a tree hugger. But if you look at trees and how long they're here compared to how long you, your daddy, your granddaddy, your great grandfather, like however long y'all lasted, that one tree has seen generations you never even thought about. A lot of people don't realize that trees are families. The biggest tree of the same kind in the same area is the mother tree. And the ones that get smaller from it are where the seeds have dropped and they have grown up. They have an interconnected root system under the ground, just like you have one in your brain. You look at ants. An ant isn't an organism. An ant is a piece to the hive. It's not an ant, it's ant. The whole body flows. One dies, the rest of them come right to that area. They know where they are because of the trail they leave behind. It's an organism. A tree has branches. You don't look at a branch on a tree and be like, a tree, another tree, another tree. No, it's the whole tree. And you don't say a ant, another ant. It's the whole ant. You don't look at a person and say left hemisphere of the brain and the right hemisphere is a person and the front hemisphere is a person. No, it's the whole organism, the whole body. So when you look at trees in that way, and you take
Marijuana, mushrooms, LSD, and then DMT.
they communicate. It's like a vine that comes down. Mine was purple and pink. They were beautiful. And they wrapped around me like a grandmother. And I never felt so comfortable, so cared about. I wasn't touching the tree. The tree came to me. And she told me everything she's seen through a vibration, through a vibe. Like, it wasn't words. It wasn't like, listen, baby, I saw when Al Capone was over at the pink compound down the street. She didn't say it. She didn't say anything. But I could feel all the information. And my wife sitting on the porch could see everything that was happening inside of me. It's,
That's beautiful. I never heard it like that.
yeah.
You reading rap with like pink and purple vines?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, it was truly like being held by an aunt. And if I think back to it, or I touch her, or I hug her, all of that comes flooding back. It's like a grounding. Like, I'll give you an example. Big tree in front of our house. Take a picture of it and put it right here. Out of all of this tree, our car is right here. We've had huge limbs fall off of this tree. They never touch the car. They always fall in the yard. I drug a limb that literally reached more than halfway from driveway to driveway into the backyard. Wasn't even close to the car. Like, I prayed for that tree. I cherish that tree. I'll sit on the porch and just like send my positive energy back to the tree. And the vines will blow when there's no wind. And it's literally a communication. And people have that ability too. There's just so much stigma on God moments where you get quiet, you stare at somebody in the eyes and don't say anything. You just stare. That actually changed my brother, not to interrupt. That changed Van. Like, I'm gonna try to get him on here too, where he went to a festival and he didn't do any other drugs. He just stared at this old lady. And when he stared into her, he said she started to cry. And then the guy who was doing the meditation, it was a guided meditation. He said, okay, now you are the ultimate being and this is just a human. So they switched roles. And he stared into her and then he started to cry. And he has been such Like, dude, I got my brother back. I did.
Really?
Yeah, like I was really worried about that man for a second. I was really worried about that man for a second. But man, he came down here after that experience. I hugged him so much when he got here. You know what I mean? I was just like, dude, I thought I lost you, bro. Like there was times where I was just like, we were on this level together.
So he just needed to like cry, you think, and like open up with somebody?
I think he needed to connect.
Yeah.
There's a connection that happens when you stare into somebody.
On ayahuasca, like that person you're staring at is you. And it's the most necessary but most uncomfortable thing. You talk about awkward, like, you know what I mean? Like you look at yourself and half of you is just like, really, like, come back. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, let's go to the last question. Extraterrestrials. All right, I got this one.
all right.
Okay, extraterrestrials. If there literally were extraterrestrials that came onto your front porch, knocked on your door, and said, I am an extraterrestrial, showed you the spaceship, you would literally say, nope. Only those people think that there are no extraterrestrials, like there's no other life outside of this earth. Only those people. All right, first time I saw extraterrestrial. Here we go. No, not the first time, but the most recent time. I'm at Green Key Beach. My wife and Chuck and his kids were there too. And we were looking at the sunset at the beach. You're looking at the sunset. Off to the right of the sun, there's a tetrahedron, this 5-pointed triangle spinning really fast right beside the sun, right beside it. And you're watching the sun go down, but everybody's looking at that like, what is that? Like, sun, brightest thing in the sky. You don't even see stars yet because it's so bright. But this bright ass spinning 5-point triangle, it's just spinning right beside the sun. So we all start talking about it. And as we're talking about it, steady watching it, we're making jokes. I'm like, I bet Obama's up there like negotiating with the Grays right now about some kind of energy plan when it comes to our gold and like the electricity we use. Like we're all just making fun of it. And then it just disappeared.
Damn.
Just gone. The other time, I was with this dude in Okeechobee before any
Marijuana, mushrooms, LSD, and then DMT.
And we literally watched what we thought was a space shuttle go up. We were down in Okeechobee, Florida, which is close to the space station that they don't use anymore. And we thought we saw a rocket go in the air, but it split up into 3 things and had blue tails coming behind it. And we watched one sort of fade out, the other one go one way and then fade out, and the other one for a long time just sort of cruise, and then it was gone too. But if you look up in the sky, you'll notice chemtrails are everywhere, and they don't explain it. There's no www.chemtrailproviders.com where you can be like, why are y'all doing this? What's the purpose of this? There is none of that. It's just happening. And it's like, if you watch the documentary on Netflix, like there's traffic above our skyline. They do the chemtrails so you can't see it. Because these beings didn't just come down in 2004. They've been here since ancient times. And the public, the general public, can't know about it. Because then you're no longer sheep. You're no longer unaware. Now you're equal part.
Yep. Now, like that. So extraterrestrials, yeah, like you're so naive to think that, you know, we're the only species that's capable of, you know, what we call existing. And all the other creatures on the planet are doing the same thing. Look at the dolphins, the whales, they're smarter than us. Elephants, you know.
I feel like the human body is a really good map of everything. Like if you study anatomy, which they should teach in high school. They should teach it in
Oh.
middle school.
Yeah, it should be the first thing you learn.
It should be very.
Why wouldn't it be? Yeah,
Like the most closest thing we get to anatomy is like sex ed,
yeah,
and that literally puts you in the mindset of like what's important to this civilization.
Yeah, what if instead of sex ed, we had meditation taught
Exactly.
at that age? How different of a culture would it be? It's like my mom should go like, "Oh, I know everything's energy and consciousness," and she'll like look at me and like literally do this,
Yeah.
and it's like, part of me just wants to be like, I feel like, oh, like you're a little child, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's
No,
like
it's true.
it's this weird dichotomy because like she's the mother, but the son has more knowledge than the mother now, and like the mother's still trying to control son, and it's like
Yeah.
love from afar.
Got
Yeah.
to. Got to have to do the same thing, man. I think it's a generational thing too. We're gonna notice a lot of younger kids who are like they're gonna be young, man. Like before high school, I think we're gonna be on our level, just because the information is there and they have the mind. Like the ones who are around people like us who are cultivating it, they're gonna have the mind to search for it younger. And when they find it, they're just gonna see it because they don't have. We had years of heavy metal caked up around us, and like until we finally became aware. Can you imagine being a kid and becoming aware? Like
Yeah.
that's next level.
Yeah, like you can just research on your own now at any age and find out what we should be doing, how we should, this and that. Like,
I think that's
knowledge
why
is
there's
so much out there.
this privacy bullshit, this terms and everything that's everywhere on the internet is coming up because they want to control that. Like they're like the information can't just be there, and it's like yeah, it's been there. Like the internet was fine before y'all started adding all this extra. Why are you doing it? For your protection. It's like illegal drugs. I'm listening again. Yeah. All right, but we gotta sign off. Brandon, I'd like to thank you for coming in. Being
thank
a
you for
guest.
having me.
Most definitely. We'll say something dope right
Something dope.
now. Something dope. Yeah, dude. I was like, the Japanese, like, if there were 7 magics taken from Atlantis, the Japanese still got one of them. They worked really well.
That'd be dope. That'd be chi at such a level you can make fire.
Most definitely. And they ask him how you do this. Like, how do you do this thing? Like, oh, meditation every day. Every day. This is all it is. If any of us had the balls to meditate every day, some magical shit might happen. You know what I mean? Some mystical stuff might happen. Challenge.
Challenge for me, like, you know what I mean?
I
Like,
challenge anybody watching this to meditate every day this year.
make life a meditation. Ooh.
Oh, there you go. I like that.